The area of a rectangle is found by multiplying the side length by side length, or our algorithm says the area is equal to the length times the width. And we can apply that idea to fractions too. In our first example, on the top side, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces going across, and I'm talking about 2 out of the 5, so I write that as 2/5. And then going down, I've divided it into 2 pieces, and I've shaded in one of them, so I have 1 out of the 2. And remember, our algorithm says length times width. So we're going to multiply the 1/2, right here, times the 2/5. And when I do that, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. And I can simplify that to 1/5. But let's go look. We have 2 pieces shaded, so there's our 2. And 2 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's our denominator. And so the answer means that 2/10 or 1/5 of the area is colored. So let's look at this one down here. I see 2 pieces going across, and I have 1 of those colored in. So I'm looking at 1/2. And then going down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've shaded in 3 of them. So I have 3 out of the 4, or 3/4. And now to find the area, I'm going to multiply the length times the width. 1/2 times 3/4. 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 4 is 8. That cannot be simplified, but if I go back and count, I do have 1, 2, 3 out of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 out of the 8. And so my answer is correct. In the next one, I have 1, 2, 3, so that's my denominator, and one of them is shaded, so I have 1/3. And then going down, I have 1, 2 shaded out of the 3, so I have 2/3. Area equals length times width, so I have 1/3 times 2/3. 1 times 2 is 2. And 3 times 3 is 9. And I do have 2 of the pieces shaded in. With that thought in mind, area equals length times the width. Let's look at somewhere we don't have the boxes or the grid drawn inside to find the area. The first one I'm looking at is a square, and I know that all sides are the same. If I have 6.5 up here, then each of those are 6.5. And area equals length times width, so I'm going to have 6.5 times 6.5. Now I can't do that. I've got to have my fraction, so I'm going to go back and change this to an improper fraction. And I remember that to do that, I multiply the 2 times the 6 and get 12, and then add the 1 and get 13. My denominator does not change. And again, 2 times 6 is 12, plus the 1 is 13. And now I can multiply. And I'm going to have 13 times 13. And in order to do that, let's go up here. 13 times 13. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 1 is 1. So I get 169. And 2 times 2 is 4. That's definitely an improper fraction. So let's divide that out. 169 divided by 4. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtracting, get 0. Bring down my 9. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtracting, get 1. And my remainder becomes the numerator. and the divisor is the denominator. So my final answer here would be 42 1/4. But now I've got to look, I'm talking inches. Inches squared, because I'm talking about all the little squares that are within my area. Alright, let's look at the next one. The rectangle, 4 3/4, and then the side is 5. So I need to multiply length times width. 4 3/4 times 5. I need to change that first one to an improper fraction. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. My denominator doesn't change. And my 5/1. Alright, we have 19 times 5. 19 times 5. Well, 9 times 5 is 45. Carry the 4. And then I have 5 times 1 is 5, plus my 4 is 9. So I'm going to have 95. And 4 times 1 is 4. That's an improper fraction. So I'm going to divide 95 divided by 4. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtracting, get 1. Bring down my 5. 4 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtracting, get 3. My remainder is the numerator, and the divisor is the denominator. And so my final answer here is 23 3/4. And what are we talking? Inches, feet, yards? Oh, it's miles. Miles. And it's squared because we're talking about the area. And just as a couple of reminders, don't forget that the two fractions that we're multiplying represent the lengths of the sides, and that the answer fraction represents the area. So area is length times width. And if the sides are measured in centimeters, make sure that the area is measured in squared centimeters. And we do that with the centimeters, and don't forget that little 2. That means squared. And if the side lengths are measured in feet, then the area is measured in square feet. Don't forget to make sure you're documenting what unit you're measuring in.